Well, welcome back to Mark's workshop. Just a quick update on my 12s for 2K build issues. We've had torque converter issues. We've had uni joint issues. We've had hoist issues. Hoist was the first one. Blue seals, piss and all everywhere. So we've got a bit of that. Next one was try to do a unis, things like that. Unis don't match up, so all my dodgy writing of working out what unis we've got to get, we've got them, or we've got one coming, sorry, which we need a 21R to a 1310. And we've got torque converter issues, but we've half figured that out. We've got to still pull the motor out, but just yeah, there's a few videos, quick updates. We're getting there, things like that, and yeah, hopefully you learn something, because I actually did learn something with gearboxes of all the time been doing them. Done nothing about torque converters, and it's opened up my eyes to just little issues that happen with old stuff. All right, thank you. Just like to thank guys that helped me out today, Ward, Zoran, and Dane for helping me pull apart. No idea what I was doing on the seals, but yeah, thanks to those guys, and yeah, back into it next week. All right, good stuff. All right, so hoist back together. Obviously damaged seals. That one was actually broken, so no wonder it was leaking oil everywhere, all over the ground. But so we have that one. This one I had to brake to get out, and this one here, where was it? There you go, it was actually broken through the centre there, right there. Had to brake the rest of it to get it out, but yeah, that's why it was pissing out oil. So yeah, now we'll be back onto it and try to get the 12 second for 2K finished. I can do the other ram as well, so I bought two kits, but only one was leaking, and I'll just hang on to this until, if I ever need it, chuck it with the rest of the stuff. All right, we'll keep going, and it's good to have it back on the hoist and get it all working. Back on it, thank you. All right, we have a working hoist again, so bit of dynoing going on in the background, but my hoist is working. Now to get back onto it, no leaking. So now time to get it going. All right, wait till next one. Back on the hoist repair, got the ram part, taking the seals off. See, look at that. Two split seals. That one's got chunks out. I think it's probably that way when it's put back together, to be honest. So, new seal kits. Let's hopefully get it back together this afternoon or tomorrow, which is Sunday, Easter. I can start working on my car, my 12 for 2K challenge. All right, talk soon. Welcome to Mark's workshop. Just a quick little update on my 12s for 2K challenge. Just been busy with work lately, and the old Lexus still needs a bit of work, but my main thing at the moment is I can't work on the car is because my hoist has decided to blow some seals. So up here in the side of it, I know nothing about these things, so I'm going to have a crack at rebuilding it with this new seals. There's a little breather hole in here and it's pissing all out. So it's actually soaked into the ground a bit, but you can see there's oil everywhere. So that's what I'm doing today, is, Saturday, Easter weekend, and got to get this fixed before I can start working on it again, because I can't get under the car. I'm not laying under the car, so we'll see how we go. and back more updates. Right, thank you. Now on to torque converters. As I was saying earlier, we've had an issue with using different torque converters. I'm not up on torque converters, on clearances and things like that, inside how they're built dimensionally and blah blah blah. But original videos I've had where I said I was using 2 torque converters. I was sitting on a engine stand drip tray. This is one. The other one's in the car. Now this one was the first one I started with. Now when I put this converter in, it locked up. I'm thinking, did I get the pump gears lined up properly? Blah blah. Yeah, I had all that lined up properly, but with the actual tabs, there was literally just enough room to scrape the converter by, so there's no clearance. So like trying to figure it out, and I had this happen years ago. I actually have a bolt together torque converter. It's one of my other cars that I tried to put in, had the same issue. Ended up putting another torque converter in, fixed it all, never looked into it. Track 13, 14 years later, pulling all this stuff out to use it for the challenge, the $2,000 challenge, and we've had issues. So this torque converter was the one that was in the actual original videos. This is just another one that I have. It's one of the ones I use on my test bench. So it turns out, when you look at a written black converter, blue converter, black converter in car, so there's 3 of them to choose from. Currently the one in the car is still not right, clearance issues. So this one here, so this 2 3/4 inches is a measurement from the top here to down. There's that little silver edge you can just see down there. So it's 275 there. That's from it's that size. All right, so the difference is, so as I said, from this edge down to that little shiny silver edge there, that's the top. And I use my verniers to measure it. It's a crude way of measuring, but I got it there. Now this one, so from the top of there to that same, you can just see that little silver edge. That converter is 3.160. So the difference in margin between, this converter and this converter in the height is 410 thou. That's a lot. That's a lot of difference in height. And you kind of, when you're standing where I am in front of it, you can see the difference between the height of that, the height of that. So this one here is literally 410 thou higher. Now I don't understand the difference between converters and why there would be such a big difference, but there is. Now the other black converter I had in one of the early videos, it's it fits in I can't remember what it was, 2.850 anyway here. That's not right, but there was 310 thou difference, so there was actually 100 thou difference between the height of this one, which is that one. So it was actually 100 thou less. It was 3.060. All right. Now that converter that's in the car, which I'll show you, it goes in. I can turn it. I can do all the stuff, but we have axle pad issues, and we found that we've measured a couple of cranks like Holden 304, 308 cranks, 253 cranks, and there's different depths in the actual snout of the back of the crank. So that's that. But with the difference in the height, if we come over here, so this is obviously a stator out of my bolt together. Now you can see on these, the splines, when they're cut in, they're just cut into the same depth all the way through, and they finish up there. What happens is when you put this stator on, oh, go on, come on. Why won't it go on? There you go. So that goes on. What it does is the bottom side, it goes down, can only go as far as the splines are cut. So yeah, which is just under that bearing there. So it only goes down so far. Now this is an aftermarket tube out of a powerglide. So this is a Sonic stator tube. That's a factory stator tube. So if you put this on here, it's going to be a mongrel to get on, but hold 2 seconds. Okay, that's on there. Now when they go in, this one here goes straight past. Goes all the way to the bottom. And take it out. So there's no restriction on that. So what I'm saying is, it turns out there's between the restriction of how far down the spray can go in the converter, gets jammed on here, to the difference in heights from internally from that one to that one and the one we got in the car. I said that one, I've written it down wrong here, but it's actually 310 thou difference. That's what was binding it all up. And out of all my 25 years of building transmissions, I don't have anything to do with converters. I've had it happen to me twice. Luckily, they're on my own personal cars. And they both had factory style looking, like even though the one in the Lexan, which is over there, is an aftermarket tube, but it's cut exactly the same way. Where this is undercut. So this here, spline, it just lets it go all the way through. You're not going to stay there. So that's turns out what was locking it up. And the only other problem I said was we got issues with the spigot. Now we've got to find out what the depth is. We might have to just clean up the back of the spigot of the converter we got, but it's tested me, it's been a pain. And I'm trying to get back on it, get it done, and just nothing's happening and working, but now we understand why. But the next thing, I'll come back and I'll show you the tail shaft. I'll move everything. There's the tail shaft. We've had issues with that as well. So, all right, back soon. Thank you. All right, just back with the torque converter. You see we have the other black stall converter in. I don't know what brand it is, as I said, but now, as you can see, we've got a free turning torque converter, but for some reason up in there, into the spigot at the back of the crank, it's not going all the way in. And if I push on this, hold on, you can hear it moves a bit. It's not moving enough, so we've got to find out why it's not going into the back of the crank. As I said, we've measured different crankshafts, and for some reason Holden crankshafts are different, but we've got it's probably a 4mm gap there. We can run some spacers on it, but I want to get a bit more clearance so we don't have ballooning issues, which can take out the thrust, can take out the pump, things like that. We'll get it sorted. That's nothing, but main thing I'm concerned about now is we've got a spinning torque converter. I suppose this is what you get for using junk, old second-hand parts and trying to slap it together and save money. But yeah, so that's the next thing. But now, as I said, back onto the tail shaft. I'll do a quick one on that. Thanks. All right, last issue currently have is we know that's the factory Commodore, Lexan, whatever you want to call it, tail shaft, and to get the length we had to go 45mm longer. So this is the yoke, the Speedway yoke that I bought, and not up on uni joints and things like that, but so that's a 1310. Turns out the factory Commodore is called a 21R, so that's a 1310 uni. That's a 21R uni, which is a standard Commodore, Falcon, things like that. So what we've got to do, we've got one on order. It's called a 21R, which is half that, by 1310 and half that. So we've got that on order, which should we'll be picking up Tuesday, and that will fix my woes. I've got to rebuild this thing, you know, got to do that. But yeah, just could have had an actual uni for the weekend. It's Labor Day weekend, but sorry about that noise in the background. The boys are dynoing over there, the other shop at Cornfed. But yeah, so what we're going to do, we've got to get a half and half uni. So it's called a 27R, 21R, sorry, by 1310, which will give us that to that. So yeah, we just got to fix that issue next week. Then I do have all the stuff to rebuild this, get into it. And yeah, so they're the two unis that I got, but not worth jack shit. So that's my issue that we've had this week, and the torque converter, but we're on track. So I said I've hooked up the ignition, wired all that in. I don't know what distributor I'm going to use, but I had a brand new one here I bought off eBay for $89. So we've got that in there for now, wired up. I still want to use the factory one, just have to see, but yeah, that's where I am at the moment. Backwards with the rain, work, things like that, but we've got to get back onto it, get it done, and yeah, so we should have that new uni next week. So like anything, if you like it, subscribe please, hit the like button, and yeah, we'll get back into it and get more. Thanks again, thanks for watching. Hi, Mark from Mark's Workshop. Finally back on my 12s for 2K build. We may go over, not too sure yet, but finally getting back into it. Had a few issues with torque converter spacings and just little things not working out, tail shafts and things like that. So today I've wired up my my module to a coil. So there's that module with the 5th pin, which will retard the timing 5 degrees. Hopefully it works. So that's all wired up. We just need to power that coil up now, and that will give it power. This is actually a new distributor. It's only a cheapie. It's not a pro comp, but it could be off of eBay. $89 billet thing. I've tried to lock it up as much as I can by just bending the fins, and it still has a little bit of free play in it, but hopefully it's good enough. So we've got that done, and obviously my dodgy drawing for the way it all works out, you know, with ground wire. We put some nut inserts, thanks to Dame from Cornfed Boost for reminding me that I have a nut insert machine. So we've nut inserted those on. So I just put a bit of alloy plate it's on the piss, but it is what it is, to bolt it to. So the two main wires, white one being, that's the positive wire. The blue one is the negative wire. Down to some cheap eBay Deutsch style, I don't even know what they are, connectors. So that's all in there. But yeah, so that's the 5-pin module, wired up the way it sits on there. Nothing on there, but you can see the hob switch, 8 psi. Should retard the timing 5 degrees. So we've got to do that. Slowly been working on pulleys and brackets and things like that, but I've got to use some spacers to get everything right, because I'm just using bits of everything from whatever I can find, and so that will go on next. I just haven't finished it yet, but I've got to get that done next week. Got to work out the dipstick tube, all the other spacers, just doing what we can. So yeah, so electronically wise, we're going to try have this thing fired up very, very soon. Won't be today, but that should power up, should be good to go, you know. We've still got to get into the dump pipe section. We've changed our mind. We were using 3.5, but we're now going to go down to 3-inch tubing, just for clearance issues to get out there. We're going to go through the back of the side of the fender there to come out behind the wheel. So yeah, so that's that. And Now on to the next thing is I'll show you the issues I've had with torque converters and tail shafts. It's been a bit of a nightmare, but we're getting around it. All right, thank you.